Boy, if you don't get...
You and I can both agree, One Piece is more than just an anime. It's a whole experience. The kind that deserves not just its flowers, but an entire bouquet. A garden even. You've got those jaw-dropping fights like Luffy vs. Kaido that make you lose your voice from screaming at the screen. Then the life-changing lessons, like when Jinbei shared his blood with Luffy. And of course, Shaky's fine. But while Oda does a lot right, not every character gets the spotlight they deserve. And with the world as massive as One Piece, some characters are bound to fade into the background. Unfortunately, Tashigi is one of them. Yes, Smoker's right-hand man. Yes, the one who's constantly on Zoro's. And once upon a time, she was hyped to be this reoccurring obstacle for the Straw Hats. But now, she turned into more of a semi-gag character. So today we're breaking down the rise and fall of Tashigi, how she went from a promising rival to a sideline character. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll be asking the same thing I am. What the hell happened to Tashigi? Oh yeah, and before we start, hit the like button and subscribe. Support the boy, my guy. Let's start at LougeTown, the Straw Hats' last pit stop before diving into the Grand Line. This arc was stacked with introductions. Buggy's comeback, Alvida's glow up, Dragon's aura farming, Smoker, and of course Tashigi. What makes her stand out is her first impression. She gets into a little scuffle, loses her glasses, and who's the bystander that picks them up? None other than Zoro. The moment he sees her face, he freezes, because she looks exactly like Kuina, his childhood crush. I mean, his rival who tragically died. And to make it even crazier, Tashigi's also a swordsman. That single detail locks her into the One Piece lore forever. We immediately start asking, is she connected to Kuina somehow? Maybe she's from Wano. Could Oda be hiding something big here? But at the moment, she's just a marine who looks like Zoro's childhood crush, and Zoro is popping his rock. After they're running, she drags him to a navy base to pay for her broken glasses, basically scolding him like a little brother. Zoro, a cold-blooded swordsman who terrifies bounty hunters, getting mad like he forgot to do his homework. But through this, we see Tashigi's sense of honor and justice. If they weren't on opposite sides, pirate versus marine, you could almost picture them as a solid duo. But hey, this is One Piece, so almost is as close as we'll ever get. Tashigi sticks around as Zoro goes sword chopping after his loss to Daddy Mihawk. This is when we find out she's not just a marine, she's a katana nerd. She geeks out over graded swords from Wano, and she's the one who identified Wado Ichimonji, Kuina's blade, as one of the 21 Wazamono blades. Foreshadowing? Maybe. Coincidence? Could be. But Oda put her there for a reason and it planted seeds about Zoro's sword that fans would never forget. And then the biggest moment of the arc for Tashigi, ones fans often overlook. Toward the end of LougeTown, she challenges Zoro directly, questioning if he's holding back on her because she's a woman. That hit different. For Zoro, it was like Kuina herself was confronting him again. For us, it was clear. Tashigi isn't just submarine. She's Kuina's parallel. Same passion, same struggles, but approaching it her own way. So to wrap up LougeTown, Tashigi leaves as more than just Smoker's sidekick. She becomes a living reminder of Zoro's past, a question mark for his future, and a character who feels later because next time we see her is in Alabasta.
まあ、なんとでも呼ぶがいい。とにかくこの国で暴れてくれるな。
Now we move into Alabasta, considered by many as the first real saga of One Piece. This is where we see the first of One Piece's BV treatment or Yamato treatment. Check the link in the description to find out what I'm talking about exactly. Like I said, poor the boy. Anyways, we also set the stage for a plethora of iconic introductions like Ace, RIP, the big bad crocodile, and new crewmates like Chopper and Robin. And tucked into all that chaos, Tashigi makes her return. After LougeTown, Smoker wasn't letting the Straw Hats off easy. Man said, nah, I need my get back, and chased them all the way to Alabasta. But once there, he and Tashigi realized Crocodile is about to Alabasta something serious, forcing them into a tricky spot. For Zoro, seeing Tashigi again instantly brings back Kuina deja vu, and for Tashigi, the feeling is mutual. She's questioning if Zoro's presence is for just another unwanted reminder of her insecurities. Here's the thing though, Tashigi doesn't actually do much in this arc. She barely shows up, 5 episodes at max. But what does stand out is her internal struggle. She's a marine, sworn to fight pirates, yet here she is, standing shoulder to shoulder with pirates to take down Crocodile, another pirate. It's the classic enemy of my enemy is my friend dilemma. But for Tashigi, the real enemy isn't Crocodile, it's the woman in the mirror. Beneath her strong sense of justice and that motherly scolding vibe is something darker, an inferiority complex. She constantly measures herself against more powerful characters who represent the exact strength and freedom she feels she lacks. And when she fails, it doesn't just feel like a losing battle, it feels like her own weakness being exposed to the world. Alabasta, Tashigi isn't remembered for flashy fights or big hero moments. She's remembered for what she reveals about herself, her frustration, her insecurity, and the cracks in her justice first persona. Gonna lie, Tashigi technically shows up in Marineford, but blink and you'll miss her, so we're skipping that. Her next real spotlight comes in Punk Hazard, an arc that most of us would say is pretty, but Tashigi, Punk Hazard was actually alright. First off, she gets her post-time skip feminine enhancements, never a bad thing. But more importantly, we see her same old struggle rear its ugly head again. That's inferiority complex. The best example, her fight against Monet. Tashigi tries, but Zoro has to step in and end things. That moment reignited the Zoro-Tashigi dynamic, the rivalry, the parallels, and yes, even the ship debates. The problem is, this was basically the last time Tashigi and Smoker had any real weight in the story, and it was frustrating because the post-time skip, we were expecting growth. Smoker got hockey, cool. That felt more like Oda tossing him a participation trophy to keep him relevant in the new world. Tashigi, on the other hand, no real development. Her rivalry with Zoro didn't evolve, her role as a marine didn't deepen, it was just more of the same. And that's the real issue. After the time skip, so many side characters we loved just stalled. Bigger storylines, Kaido, Wano, the Yonko took center stage, and characters like Tashigi got left behind, which is a shame because the duo of Smoker and Tashigi once felt like natural foils to Luffy and Kaido. Imagine if Oda had continued to develop that dynamic. At the end of the day, Punk Hazard reminded us of Tashigi's potential, but also made it clear that Oda wasn't planning to explore any further. At the end of the day, One Piece is an incredible anime. It's inspired me to chase my goals, live with adventure, and honestly just enjoyed the ride. Pause. But with the story dismantled, not every character gets the shine they deserve, and that's the tough part. Watching a character with so much potential like Tashigi start strong, only to fade into the background. She had the base, the premise, and the lore that could have made her a major player. Instead, she became another what could have been in One Piece history. But hey, this is Oda we're talking about, and if there's one thing we know, is that he loves surprising us. Now I want to hear from you. Who do you think is the most sidelined character in One Piece? Was it Tashigi or someone else who deserved better? Drop your takes in the comments and let's debate it out. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and support the boy because we're just getting started. Once again, my name's AOI-KUN and this is my synopsis.